And everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. And we say Mo'adin L'Simcha, a good Mayid. And we'll, for all of our listeners that'll be listening after today's the bookstores they're doing there, it's still Chag. But Baruch Hashem, but we're doing what we're supposed to do over here, and we're learning. And again, we learn for the well-being of our Chayalim, the Chatufim, and the Pitzuim, and everyone else around the world, all Yidden around the world. And we had good news that they killed the monster. Baruch Hashem. Amazing. Mamash amazing. Mamash amazing. Mamash amazing. And then unfortunately we lost some of our guys. No. Okay. But so we're learning the Halachos of Hilchos Nefilas Apayim, which is the laws of Tachanun. So of course we're middle of Chal Moed. We don't have Tachanun. We have so much more Simcha, right? The whole thing is to connect our Kodesh Baruch Hu through the Simcha, okay? And that's what we're supposed to try to do at this time. So here we go. The Rebbe says today, "Zeh bechinas Chatzos Laila, she'oz haya ikir gulas Mitzrayim, k'may shekosav, kachatzois halayla ani yotzei b'soich Mitzrayim." Interesting. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu that I'm going to come at Chatzos Laila. But Moshe Rabbeinu said, Kachatzois, around midnight, around Chatzos. It won't be exactly, he says, it'll be around. It's interesting. A lot of talk about that, right? I'm sure we all heard about it, right? Because Moshe Rabbeinu did that specifically because the Chatumei Mitzrayim would say, since they may not have had the right calculation of what time Chatzos is, even though Hashem would make them greatest miracle by doing Makas B'chayros, right? He would kill the firstborn of everything in Egypt, okay? They would say, well, it wasn't so great because you didn't do it exactly at Chatzos. So Moshe Rabbeinu preempted that, and he said, Kachatzos. Right? He said, Kachatzos. So therefore, it'll be around midnight. I'm using the word midnight, but it's not midnight. Chatzos is Chatzos Laila. It goes by a calculation. It's not midnight. We're just using midnight because that's okay. Here we go. Ki yoim v'layla ein bechinas chama u'levana. Day and night is the aspect of the sun and the moon. Right? We understand that, right? The sun is the day, and the moon is the night. They come from these two ideas of what? The lack, the knowledge, right? Which is light. And it comes with the lack of knowledge, which is darkness. That's the idea of the mind always running and the ma'akev pulling it back. Right? Both running and coming back. What is the idea? That we said that the mind, the chama, the sun, right? The sun, which is the Or Ein Sof, is the mind. The Or Ein Sof is the chama, right? The chama, the sun, and then the moon is the ma'akev. It's holding it back. The moon is the one holding it back, right? And that was the whole problem that we learned about Erev Yontif, right? The whole idea that the moon didn't like the idea that he was the ma'akev. But what the moon didn't understand was you can't be just expansive. You need to have that pushback. You need to hold back in order to be successful. You can't have both. You can't only have unlimited knowledge, unlimited light. It'll be damaging. It's damaging. And that's how you can attain the light of Hashem, right? Understanding of Hashem, of whatever we can, and everyone on their level, right? Based on this principle of the redifa and the ma'akev. Mind is running, holds it back. I got it, but I know there's much more that I can't get to. I know there's a lot more that I can't get, but I'm okay with what I have now. I rejoice with what I have right this moment. Bechinas tachlis hayadiya asher lo neda. The main knowledge is to know that I don't know, because whatever I do know, I know there's much, much, much more. It's much more vast than what I could possibly understand. At that place, at that time, when it came to Yetzias Mitzrayim, both the night and the day were together. What does that mean? Right? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Look at that. What the pasuk says. There will be one day. Hashem is going to make it that it's not day or not night. When it comes to the Erev, when it comes to the evening, there'll be light. That's going to be lasted lovely, right? Yeah. Yeah. Right, but even though Hashem called it Laila, does it mean it was dark like we understand dark today? We don't know what that meant, right? Hashem said, Laila. He made Laila. Okay, but what does that mean? We understand it now after the whole thing with the moon, his complaint to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it turned to darkness. We don't know. It may have been light as well. We don't know. But it'll be like this when Mashiach comes. It'll be that day that the night will go back. And that's the reason I'm saying that, because it'll be that time that the night will also be Or. You understand? The Erev, right? The Erev will also be Or. Look what the pasuk says. Leis Erev Yeh Or. At the time of the Erev, we have right now, when it comes to the Erev at night, it comes night. It comes dark. The sun's setting. Right? What?
Before my separation, I don't think it wasn't light. Hashem created light.
Of course he did.
But it said the Tosha Chaltanei, everything was dark. It's different. Okay, it's it.
Lasid love, right? Okay. Ki lasid niske la soga zayis nimshechas aydei klolis haradifa v'makeh biyachad. And when the time of Mashiach comes, we'll understand that we have these two things in our mind. The Radifa and the Ma'akev, and they need to work together. They're not opposites. They need to work together. Like we use the example in electricity, when you have positive and negative, right? When they work together, it works good. You can plug things in, you can benefit by the electricity, right? When they work together, there's a lot of benefit from it. So too, when Mashiach comes, we'll understand that there's a benefit, that there's an aspect of the mind that holds us back. There's something that holds us back from trying to attain more than we can possibly comprehend. You understand that, right? The mind says now, I want to understand more. I need more. And the mind is upset now. There's something holding me back. I want more. But there'll be the time when Mashiach comes, and and the moon and the sun will get back together to be the way they were supposed to be originally. Right? Shnei Ma'oris HaGedolim. That's what it was. There were Shnei Ma'oris HaGedolim. There were two great luminaries. Right? That's going to return. And the sun is the luminary, is compared to the Radifa, the mind that it's running, it's vast. That's the sun. And the Ma'akev is the moon. Okay. Shesham nechlalim laila v'yoim yachad v'al kein yia oz yoim echad asher hu lo yoim v'lo laila. There'll be one day. It'll be one day. There won't be day and there won't be night. It'll be just a day of all light. It'll be light. Kisham hu lamala me'azman v'sham nichlal yoim v'laila yachad. In that place, it'll be higher than time. It'll be higher than that time. And in that place, like for example, in Shemayim, there's no darkness, there's only light. There's no darkness. We only have darkness over here because the sun sets. Right? But in Shemayim, it's only light. There's no aspect of darkness when it comes to Shemayim. Right? You understand that? Never thought about it, right?
No, I thought the concept is like whatever we have down here, there's some certain of a Bechina up there.
Right.
So it must be night also.
No, but really up there was supposed to be like it is in the end of time. In the end of time, where the sun and the moon will both be two luminaries. It'll be light all the time. you'll see the emunah of Hashem in everything in the world. Right now we say v'emunoscha b'leilos, right? We need to tap to our emunah at the night because we don't see Hashem, right? But in the end, the time it'll be Hashem will be so revealed in the world like the water covers the sea. The same way we'll have HaKadosh Baruch Hu be so prevalent in the world. We'll see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we'll see everything. We'll have everything will be emunah. Mitz Hashem. We're waiting for that. V'zeu b'haya le'eis erev yiyah ki yikra asagas ha'or hu or ein saif. The main light is the or ein saif. Like we said, we look at the sun, and we have to remember, where is the sun getting its light from? It's getting its light from the unlimited light of Hashem. That's the source. So when you see the sunlight, you're really looking at Hashem's light. You see Hashem's light.
Which is why we can't look at it.
You can't look at the sun directly, right? Right. It's damaging. Right? It'll be damaging if you look directly at the sun.
Light.
Too much light, too powerful. Well, your day, but if you have a special glasses or something, if you put something special on, then you can do that. Right? This again, the ma'akir. You can't, right? Same idea. Well, your day, hamisadev hamiyashev hu bechinas hama'akir. This is the idea of the mind. We said, when you have the mind is settled, right? When the mind is settled and the mind is tranquil, right? That's the idea of the ma'akir, because the mind wants to over-race. The mind in the idea, let's say in the computer, is like the fan on the computer. It goes on, and it makes the computer can run nicely, right? If the fan doesn't go on, the computer can overheat. Right? It'll be self-destroy. It'll destroy itself, right? It'll burn itself up. The same way we learned the idea we have lungs. Right? We have lungs. If we didn't have the lungs that would cool the heart would burn the body up. The heart would burn the body up. The same idea. You always have something that's protecting it. Shu bechinas chayshech, bechinas yoshes chayshech sisroi, shezeh chayshech hu lemala me mikol ha'oros. There's a darkness, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu hides he's hiding his Shechina, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu hides the Shechina, right? Shezeh chayshech hu lemala mikol ha'oros, ki al yedei zeh masigin or ein soif, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu hides it. You can be masig it. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed too much, it will be too powerful again. The ma'akev, holding it back, is what keeps the mind tranquil, what keeps the mind settled. Okay, now let's see if we get there now. Al-Kain. Gam b'seida habriya, kaidem ha'choshech. Here we go. Shalom. Here we go. Seida Abriya, Kaidem HaChayshech. When it came to Seida Abriya, before there was Chayshech, or Gemaisha Kosa, Vahi Eis, Vahi Erev, Vahi Voker, Bereisha Chashoicha, Vahoda Nahira. In the beginning, the darkness, Chashoicha, right? The darkness, Chosha, right? Same idea, right? The Hodar Nahira. It was really light. We don't understand that, right? We don't understand that. Right? In the beginning, the chayshech was there was darkness, and then there was light. Right? You can't understand the light. Oh, let's understand here the concept. We understand light because there's a lack of light. Right? When you have the lack of light, then you can understand the light.
Same thing in physics.
Yeah.
So dark is defined as the absence of light.
The what?
The absence of light, that's the definition of dark. Light itself in physics, light is energy. Dark is nothing. It's just the absence of light.
Absence of light, exactly.
But if you don't have light, you can't have dark.
You don't know, you wouldn't know of darkness, you don't know of light. If you don't have if you see the light, then you know there's darkness. From the light, you know that there's now this. I'm lacking the light. Kisra and or min achoshech ki kol ha'oros nimshachim me'or ein saif she'efshel la'sigay ela ayedei bechinas achoshech. All light in the world comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, His unlimited light. It comes from His unlimited light, and therefore we can't understand it only through choshech. If we have darkness, right? If it's dark, if it's tamed, then we can understand the light. If the light is so powerful, it would just destroy us. It would be destroying. Shu bechinas hama'ake, bechinas eder hayediyah, the lack of knowledge. Dahainu sheyesh loy zeh hakoyach b'moichei sheyadeya ba'atzmei she'ena yadeya klal. That the mind has to always know that I really don't understand anything. Right? I understand whatever I can, but I really don't understand the essence of any mitzvah, of anything. Again, the whole point of doing mitzvahs is we do it with simcha. Right? We have the simcha that Hashem told us to do the mitzvah, we do the mitzvah. But do we understand why did Hashem want it? We don't care. This is what Hashem wants, and this is what we do. Ki efshar lahasig zeh ha'or, ki im kishiyesh lo koyach ha'mesader, shehu koyach ha'ma'akev, kidei she'ya'akev, moichai b'shas ha'redifa, shelo yichnois b'ma she'ein lo rishus. Because the mind constantly wants to run to things that places that it shouldn't. Try to figure things out. Why did this happen? Why is that happening? What's the reason for this? What's the reason for that? So the Ma'akev says, you know something? It's Hashem's plan, and Hashem knows what we need, and because it's all based on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're okay with it. We're fine with it. You need that Ma'akev. The mind tries to understand things that it shouldn't understand. Just say, okay, I have a Emunah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running the world. He does everything. He knows what he's doing. Let him take care of it. And he does. He does a great job when we let him do his job. Right? When we try to step in and we try to take over, that's when we have problems. When we leave over the controls over to Hashem, everything runs beautifully. Shoz daike yochol lahasig ma sheyasig bechinas moti v'loy moti. Bezeh bechinas chatzos. Shenekuda amitis shel chatzos laila kosher lahasig. That exact point of chatzos, that exact nekuda, that exact point, when is chatzos, it's very, very hard to determine. Why? Because that's the deciding factor of day and night. That chatzos, the second after chatzos, it's still dark, it's very dark, but it's leading to the light. Till chatzos, it's dark, it's leading to darkness. But once chatzos hits, from that time on, it's leading to light. Isn't it interesting, right? Chatzos is the deciding factor, right? Till chatzos, it's getting darker, 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 darker. When chatzos hits, now it's going towards the side of light. All right, okay. Ad sheyoimru, Rabbi Seinu, shafilu Moshe lo yada chatzos emas. The Gemara in Brachas in Gimel, Daf Gimel Lamed Bey said shafilu Moshe lo yada chatzos emas. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know that exact second of chatzos. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't understand it. Could you imagine that? Moshe Rabbeinu didn't understand that exact second. The Gemara says that. That's the only reason we can say that. Because from that point, that's when the spark of light is starting to arouse. When it starts to get the light. Oz nimshach is galus elikusi is bar shu bechinas or ein soif shu shirish kol hamoires. That's when it starts to show that all light is really Hashem's light. You start seeing that when after chatzos, once it flips from darker to darker to light, then you can start to sense all the light of Hashem. That's when you have the dark and the day together at once. Why? Because it's dark at that time at Chatzos, right? It's very dark, but there's also day mixed into it. And there you have the dark together with the light. The dark together with the light. Shehem bechinas haredifa v'ma'akev, sheshneim nechlalim yachad, that they're both together. Shaydei zeh zaykim masigin ori yisbarach. That's how you can understand the Or of Hashem. V'alkein Oz, whose man Yetzias Mitzrayim. That was the time we went out of Mitzrayim. Right? We talk about Mitzrayim on all of the Chagim, right? And Shabbos, we talk about Zeicher Yetzias Mitzrayim, right? This is what it's all about, right? We always talk about going out of Mitzrayim, right? We're sitting in the sukkahs because Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, right? And we were in the desert, and we sat in the sukkahs, right? Rabbi Akiva says that we sat in actual sukkos. Rabbi Shmuel says no, it wasn't actual sukkos. It was the what do you call it? The Shechina. Anania covered, the Anania covered the Shechina. It was the Anania covered the Shechina. That's what we were sitting in. It's amazing if you see what the Medrash talks about. It talks about the idea of what the Anania covered was that surrounded us in all six directions, right? All six directions the Anania covered. That's why we shake the lulav in all six directions, right? And if you notice something, you shake the lulav 18 times. Rabbi Nachman talks about this in the Likutey. You shake the lulav 18 times, right? 3 times 6 is 18, right? You have Shmon Esrei, Tikkun HaTfilah, right? Shmon Esrei is 18 blessings, right? We added the 19th one, right? But you're holding the Esrei and the lulav together. We're holding it itself. That could be 19, all right? Anyway.
Do you remember, by the way, what Torah Rabbi Nachman talks about sukkahs? Just to sit in sukkah and read something.
You what?
I just want to read.
We'll look at it later. We'll talk about it. Okay. Oz in this gala Likutey is baruch bebechinas kachatzois halayla ani yoytzei b'soich Mitzrayim. Kachatzois layla ani yoytzei b'soich Mitzrayim. The Moshe Rabbeinu said kachatzois layla ani yoytzei b'soich Mitzrayim. At around midnight, I'll come out to Mitzrayim, because we said Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know exactly what time it was. Others say that Moshe Rabbeinu did know, but again, he did that because he didn't want to lower the miracle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sasha, anytime you want to see anything in Likutey Moran, you can always take out the Sefer Likutey Eitzes, right? The book of advice, the book advice. So if you take a look and you look at the topic, right? So he gives you points. Rav Nosson gives you pointers, and then you can look at the thing, so you see which Torahs he took it from, and then you can always find it from there. Mm-hmm. You understand? Like you look up sukkos.
Right. Yeah,
right?
I just couldn't find it. I like going through it here.
No, do you have Likutey Eitzot?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at that's a good way to always do it. Look in there, and then you'll see what Torah he took the idea from. Then you can look in the Torah. You can. It's in the
Maftech.
No, it'll be in. If you get a good Likutey Eitzos, they tell you the Marma Kaimas right there. Yeah, I was so happy one year. This goes back about 20 years ago. I was in Uman and I picked up a Likutey Eitzos. They finally put down the Marma Kaimas on Likutey Eitzos. So I showed it to Reb Chaim. He says, "Oh, I did that. I did that when I was 15." He wrote the Marma Kaimas when he was 15. I says, "Great." But I have it now, so I'm happy.
The Marma, what? What is that?
He put the what?
Sources.
The source points. Index? What is that? Index? No. Sources. He put the source for it. Yeah. Da'aynu she'oz b'chatzos kiviyachal Hashem yisborach ba'atzmai yoytzei megala atzmai sha'yidei zeh yoytzei mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu went out at that time at Chatzos, because it was that time of Chatzos when it was dark and light at the same time. That was the factor of Geula, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to take us out of Mitzrayim. Again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do whatever he wants, but this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's system that he chooses to use. All right? Shem klal kol ha-geulas. And that's the klal of all the geulas. All the geulas is going to come in this way that we're talking about. They will have the day and the night together. The day and the night together is going to be, that's how we'll go. Ki ha-klipos shehem ha-kfiros. Shehem Iker Hagolos, the whole idea of Kfira, heresy, right? And the clip of the husks of impurity, Nispatlin v'nichnoyin, Haidei Eskala Selekusei, Sheniskala Bachatzois Daika. That's what's going to happen. Again, we're going to have to come to that. We're in that deep darkness right now. It's very, very dark out there, right? But it's going to come that moment that it's going to be the Chatzos, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to reveal himself with the light through the darkness. Because it's very dark out there, right? Right? You hear the news and you see all the things going on in the world. It's very, very dark. But remember, because it's so dark, the light, that spitz of light will come. That little point of light will come. And when that little point of light comes, that's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu will reveal himself to the world. And we're waiting. And Mitzvah Hashem, it'll be very soon. Maybe today. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I thought we were way past the Chatzot already.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We're like, just by the dawn already.
Yeah, okay. But we need this point. We need that point of Chatzos, that it's night and day at the same time. Yeah, we need that point. She'oz be'ez hanikuda shel Chatzos laila oz nechlolin choshech ba'or yoim v'laila. At that point, that's when you have the light and the day mixed together. Yachad, sheim bechinas haredifa v'makiv nechlolim yachad, shaydei ze niskala hasoga selikusay. That's how you can understand the hasoga of elikus. Bezos hanikuda, ef shelahasik, v'alkein amr b'seinu zal. Shegam Moshe leyoda chatzos emas. Even Moshe Rabbeinu didn't understand this time. Again, Chazal say that so we can say because there bechinas tachlis idea asher lo neida. Because again, the idea is to say I don't know. Shezeh ike ef shelahasik eich nichlol an idea ve'eda v'idea yachad, and that's the idea of the idea and the lack of knowledge. The eder idea. The knowledge and the lack of knowledge together, that's chatzos. Okay, nismach parshas chatzos laila, the parshas kiddush hachodesh. Isn't that interesting? When Moshe Rabbeinu introduces this idea of the chatzos laila, few psukim later, you have the first mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, which is the mitzvah of kiddush hachodesh. Right, sanctifying the new month. That was the first mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us as a people. It was the first mitzvah. Ki shneyam bebechinas achas, because it's really one. How? Ki zeu gam kein soid ha'ibor shehu soid kiddush hachodesh lemalis begimas haLevana. That's the idea of that we have a Iber yar, right? We have the idea that there's an extra month, right? Because the lunar calendar falls behind the solar calendar, right? So we make the extra month, right, Adar Beis, right? We make Adar Beis. Adar Beis is Male, the Pegima of the Levana. The moon is lacking. So we give it a whole nother month, and that's working on filling the Pegam of the moon, because now it has the time to catch itself back up. That's how you have the sun and the moon together. That's the idea. And that's why Chatzos Laila went together with Kiddush HaChodesh. And we said Kiddush HaChodesh is a great mitzvah. Why? Because that's the time where we have to do that mitzvah with a lot of simcha, we said, right? Remember, you have to be Mekadesh the Chodesh with a lot of simcha.
So the Kiddush HaChodesh is the
because we're doing that, and we're nimshlu to the Levana, so therefore we have to do that. We do that mitzvah with a lot of simcha. That's why we make rikudim. Right? Shulchan Aruch says you're supposed to have a rikud. You're supposed to do it with a great amount of joy. So tomorrow we're going to learn a mitzvah Hashem. We'll learn, not tomorrow, Sunday. We'll learn about Dovid HaMelech. So Dovid HaMelech knew when Chatzos was. Huh? Dovid HaMelech knew when Chatzos was, and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't. Stay tuned.
He had a smartphone.
He had the wind.
No. Dovid HaMelech had the harp.
Smart harp.
He had the harp. You go, Shalom. Okay, it's a little late. It's late. Okay. Here, let's just do Dalit. Let's just do one Dvar Halacha. Dvarim ha'asurim she'eir hayoyim ad la'achar yispal. The things that you're not allowed to do during which is ches, and we're learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, right? Ches. Things that you're not allowed to do when the day turns, the day it turns day until you daven. Dalit. I think we're up to Dalit, right? Yeah. Mayim v'chein tei. Oy kafe beloy sukkah. If you have water, tea without sugar. Right? Water, right? Tea or coffee without sugar. Beloy cholav, or without milk. Right? The English people have to have a spot of milk in their tea, right? Or else they can't drink their tea also. Mutter lishta is kaidem atfila. That's mutter. Everyone says you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to drink a coffee, tea, or water before davening, without tea, without milk. Okay, without sugar and milk. Excuse me. After Amar Hashachar comes, right, which is the morning star, right? I think that's how you say that, the morning star, right? Ki ein ba'elu shum geyus, because in that there's no arrogance, Right? If you're drinking your coffee with milk and sugar, the way you do it, I have my coffee just the way I want it. That's arrogant, right? You have your tea with the right amount of milk, with the way the English do, right? That's arrogance. That's arrogance, right? But if you have it without it, there's no arrogance in that. We said the whole point you don't eat before davening is because you don't want to have arrogance, right? Even Shabbos and Yom Tov, we're really supposed to have kiddush before you eat something, right? You could drink these type of things before you davening. And the kiddush is not going to prevent you from drinking your coffee or tea or water before that, before you make kiddush. Because when you that early in the morning, it's not the time for kiddush. You don't make kiddush that early in the morning.
There's no chiyuv before.
No chiyuv, right? There's no chiyuv, exactly. They ain't kiddush ela b'makom suda. Really, kiddush is b'makom suda. People don't understand that, right? So if you go to a kiddush, right? If you go to a kiddush and you made kiddush, right? So when you come back home and now you're going to sit down to eat your suda, you're supposed to make kiddush again.
Unless you had some kind of a mizanot.
But some say that suda is b'makom, kiddush is b'makom suda. So you're supposed to make kiddush at the suda, where you can eat your suda. That's a question.
The whole point of
if your whole family was there and heard you here say kiddush, and you had a mizonos. Well, if you didn't have mizonos, you weren't yotze kiddush. It's not kiddush, right? So you have to have the mizonos, right? That's another thing. You make kiddush, so you have to make sure you make a mizonos after the kiddush, right? You have to make a mizonos after the kiddush. Or you can eat an olive if you want, or something like that too. You can make something else. You have to make another bracha after the kiddush. Okay? B'makom suda. Dahainu samach la'achila has to be close to your achila. Kiddush has to be close to your achila.
What's achila?
Food, eating.
Oh, okay.
Eating.
Oh, okay.
V'harei efshaloi le'echol koidem tfilas hashachar. It's impossible to eat before tfilas hashachar, before you start the davening of the shachris in the morning. But we said that if a person feels that he can daven better, and if he just has something, right? He has something, and he feels that that's going to cause him to be able to daven better, and to be more awake, and so on and so forth. So then the Shulchan Aruch says you can, because you're not eating it because of the gaiva, because of arrogance. But then a person has to know that by himself, right? If I eat, and if I feel, if the person knows by Yadei Inish B'Nafshe, right? Everyone knows themselves. If I eat, is it going to really help me? Am I going to see a difference in my tefillah? Am I going to be able to concentrate better? Okay, then perhaps you can. But if you feel that if I ate something, I didn't eat something, my davening is going to be the same, well, then you have no permission to eat. Right? You have no permission. But you can have, either way, water, tea, and coffee without sugar and without milk. That everyone can have any time. That's never a problem. And that's not a problem even with Kiddush and everything else. Okay, so meanwhile, now we finished Halacha Daled, and Metz Hashem will continue on Sunday, Be'ezrat Hashem. I wish everyone a good Mayed, Moadin L'Simcha. We should have a beautiful Shabbos. Don't forget, it's Shabbos Chalamoid. It's very, very special. We're going to be reading the Megillah Koheles tomorrow. Right? It's a beautiful Megillah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we have all the beautiful mitzvahs, okay? And enjoy the shyness and the sukkah. And remember, every time you sit in the sukkah, you have to remember two things. I'm sitting in the sukkah because the sukkah is a shafti, is so it's in Mitzrayim, right? When we went out in Mitzrayim, Hashem sat us in boots. And to remember the Anani Akavai, the Shechina, when you're sitting in the sukkah. Metz Hashem. Okay, everyone, Kol Tuv.